Hello everybody, my name's David and my talk is entitled Galois Theory, You're Doing It Wrong. I wanted to make this video because Galois theory is a major branch of mathematics and it's been a source of fascination and also frustration to me for many years. But I have discovered some things recently that I'd like to share with you all, and I'm going to try to explain things on an elementary level, and also I have a challenge for those of you who are more advanced in the subject. Okay, so let's get started. I want you to assume, let's imagine that you are a high school student. Let's maybe even describe you. Maybe you're an intelligent high school student who's good at math, has learned trigonometry, algebra, proofs, geometry, things like that, and you've heard that Galois theory is an important branch of mathematics. And let's just say you're talking to a professor and I'm just asking, what's it all about? What's a Galois group anyway? And the professor's like, well, you see, a Galois group is the group of automorphisms of a field extension defined as the splitting field of a polynomial over a base field. And you're like, I didn't understand a word of what you just said. And the professor's like, well, just take a course in abstract algebra and then you'll understand. Okay, so what's wrong with this picture? Well, the problem is that Galois himself did not know abstract algebra. Galois himself would not have understood that explanation by the professor, even if it was translated into French. Why? Because abstract algebra did not exist as a subject at the time that Galois was doing his work. The Galois theory is named after a guy named Évariste Galois, who apparently only lived to be like 21 years old. And there's a crazy story about how he was killed in a duel, and he only had just barely enough time before he had to fight this duel to finish his mathematical papers. But be that as it may, what interests me is the fact that Galois did his work before the commonly known notions of, say, a group, a field, the general terms we use in abstract algebra. Before any of these terms were defined or known or documented. I believe groups started to be defined in the 1850s, maybe 1860s. The Silo theorems, which are a staple of abstract algebra, they were proven in the 1870s. Fields were maybe defined somewhere around that time. And then, of course, in the 20th century, we had the whole Bourbaki formalization of all these concepts that we know and love today. But Galois did his work in the 1820s and very early 1830s. So why is it, here's my question, why is it that a mathematics student, college or graduate student, has to sit through a semester or two or three or whatever it is of abstract algebra when Galois himself did not know abstract algebra? Why is that a prerequisite to learning Galois theory? Okay, so that's my first question. Now I'm going to take I'm going to take a step back. We're going to go into a little bit of the theory. We'll record that in part 2. We'll end the recording here, and we'll see how this turns out. Okay, thanks.